Selling on Amazon is like being on a battlefield. For any product, there's only a certain amount of demand, and us sellers are out there battling it out, trying to win that demand, win that customer click, win that customer purchase. And on Amazon, only the best survive. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to be the best, how to win that battle, and how to crush a competition on Amazon. So without further ado, let's get straight into it. Okay guys, so this process starts from the very beginning. It starts from that period where you're doing product research, you're developing your product idea. That's where you really need to start this process of trying to win that battle. Now, what a lot of people think is that, hey, look, if I find a product that has good demand and the competition is not too strong, I guess it has fairly low reviews or whatever the reasons might be, if I just launch the same product that everyone else is selling, I should be able to sell well, right? Well, the answer to that is probably not. And the reason is because you're not giving a customer a reason to pick you over your competitors. Now, when you're thinking about this, you need to get into your customer's shoes and ask yourself, why would a customer choose my product over the competitors? Now, when you're entering a market as a new seller, you're likely going to have very low or no reviews. So you've got to ask yourself that. If you're selling the exact same product that one of your competitors are selling, even at the same price, let's say, then why is a customer going to pick your product over your competitors when you have less reviews than your competitors? Well, unless you drop your price significantly, they're not. And this is because of something called the price value gap, which is something that's really important to understand if you're planning on selling on Amazon. And this is all to do with the way that customers shop on Amazon. So you need to step into your customer's shoes when you're thinking about this, right? So the way that customers shop on Amazon is they search for a keyword, they then look at the search results, and what their brain's doing is it's basically summing up the perceived value of each product, each offer, and then comparing it to the price. The product that has the highest perceived value compared to the price is the most desirable, and that's the product that the customer is going to choose. Now, what happens is if you're selling the exact same product as someone else, but let's say you have less reviews, your perceived value is going to be lower than theirs. However, if you're selling at the same price, then what you have is something called a price value gap. Your value is lower compared to your price, compared to your competitors, and therefore you're going to lose a sale. So as an Amazon seller, if you want to outcompete your competition and you want to win that click, you want to win that sale, what you have to do is either increase your perceived value or reduce your price to therefore make your offer seem more desirable than your competitors, create a price value gap for all of your competitors, and therefore get the customer to choose your product. So yes, you could focus on trying to be cheaper than your competitors, bring the price point down, but that's going to be really tough. You're competing against a lot of big sellers, you're competing against a lot of Chinese sellers, sometimes they're even the manufacturers themselves. So price point is something that is quite difficult to compete on. What you should really be focusing your efforts on as an Amazon seller based in the UK, the US, wherever you are, you should really be focusing on increasing your perceived value. If you can increase your perceived value of the product and match the sales price to your competitors, that's where you're going to dominate and outcompete them. Now, of course, you could do this process manually, right? So let's say that you are looking at a product. Let me just zoom in here a little bit for you. So let's say that you were looking at a product and the product was vitamin C, and that's the product that you were looking at. You could obviously search that product on Amazon, come down and just have a look at what the other sellers are doing and try and think of ways that you can improve it. So you can just go through this process yourself. You know, you could say, okay, well, look, maybe I know that gummies are a bit of a trend at the moment. All of these seem to be tablets. No one's selling gummies. Maybe that's something that I can do. Or maybe you could think of different things that you could add to vitamin C, other vitamins to make it a complex or something like that. But what I want to show you how to do is not just how to use your mind, but how to actually use tools to help you do this. And the first tool we're going to be using is the Helium-10 magnet tool. Now guys, through the rest of this video, I'm going to be using the Helium-10 suite of tools. We're going to be using loads of different Helium-10 tools. So if you're not using Helium-10 yet, make sure to use the link in the description. I'll also add as a pinned comment. And this is going to give you the best discounts that are available at the moment on Helium-10, some exclusive discounts. So use that link. Okay, so what we want to do is we want to come to Magnet. And if you can't find Magnet, you want to click on Tools, and then under Keyword Research, here we go, you want to click on Magnet. It'll take you to a page that looks like this. Then on Magnet, you want to select your correct marketplace. I'm selling in the UK, so I'm going to select amazon.co.uk. And then you just want to add in what you think is the main keyword that describes your product. So in this example, we're going to write in vitamin C. And what you can see, it's given some suggestions. Interestingly, one is vitamin C gummies. We'll come back to that in a sec, but you can see vitamin C's come up. So you want to select that and then just click Get Keywords. And basically what this tool is going to do, I'm going to run a new search. And while this is loading, I'm going to explain to you what's going on. So basically what this tool is going to do is it's going to find all of the associated keywords with this main keyword. It's essentially going to show us all the different search terms specific specific things that Amazon shoppers are using, what words they're actually using to find this product or similar products. So this can be really helpful. I'm going to show you, I'm going to explain why in just a sec. So once this is loaded, you can come down and then under match type, you want to select organic. What you'll see is at the moment it's giving us 4,000 different results. It's just too many different results. They're going to be too broad, lots of irrelevant results. So by selecting match type organic and then clicking apply filters, it's going to reduce this to a much more relevant list of keywords. So you can see now we've got 184. So let's have a look at these. So the first thing I like to do after I've done those filters is just filter or sort these by search volume. This is going to show us the ones that customers are searching for the most. Now, like I said, these are the exact words, the exact search terms people are using to find vitamin C products on Amazon. Now, the reason why this is so powerful is when you're trying to develop a product idea, yes, you can try and think of what customers may want, but what this data is actually showing us is what customers actually want. So, let's say that we found that loads of customers were looking for vitamin C gummies. Let's say that was one of the main keywords that people were looking for and had really good search volume. And by the way, search volume means number of monthly searches. So if there are thousands of people looking for vitamin C gummies specifically, we know there's demand for that specific variation of the product. And then what we can do is if we see that, and we come over here and no one's offering vitamin C gummies, that's a clear gap in the market. If there's people specifically looking for it, but no one offering it, then that's going to allow us to really compete in this market with a differentiated offer that's going to stand out. And that's how you can use these tools. So let's have a look at some of the results that we've got. So vitamin C has 140,000. Totally expected. That's obviously going to be the main keyword here. Tablet, we've got 5,000 monthly searches. So tablet seems to be the main kind of variation or type of vitamin C that people are looking for. We've got vitamin C and zinc. So this could be another option here. Clearly, in terms of complexes or mixes of stuff, we can see that vitamin C and zinc is the combination that people are looking for the most with 3,000 or almost 4,000 monthly searches. So maybe we could launch a vitamin C and zinc product. Maybe that would be what we should do. And instead of just basing it on what we think is going to work, we're actually using real data for what customers want to actually inform our decision. And this can be so powerful. Now, once you've gone through that list, a couple of other things you can also do is what I like to do is also change match type from organic to smart complete and also Amazon recommended. So basically click these two here. Now, organic is going to give you the most relevant keywords. Selecting these two will give you slightly less relevant keywords, but can also give you some really helpful results. So click apply filter. And let's see, we've got, again, like I said, vitamin C serum, not really going to be relevant because that's, it's not a vitamin C supplement. But here we go, liposomal vitamin C. So this is another thing, 3,000 monthly searches for this specific variation. Now, if we come over here, I think I did see one of these sellers selling liposomal. Where was it? Maybe one of you will see it. I definitely did see one of these. Here we go. So this seller here, don't know if you guys can see this, but this seller here, where's it gone? So yeah, this seller here, let me zoom in here. This seller here is actually selling liposomal vitamin C and they're doing 200 sales per month. So we can see that's a perfect example of finding something that people are searching for. Maybe there's only one seller doing it. You can be the second seller because very few people are doing it, but there's really high search volume for that specific variation. And another example where this can be really helpful, like let's say that you're planning on launching a laptop stand, which you guys know I love as my example, something like that, and you're not sure what color variation you want to launch with. It could be black, it could be silver, it could be blue, whatever it might be. So of course you could come over to Amazon and you could see what the colors the best sellers are selling, and that can inform your decision. But what you can also do is, again, use this data here. If you see that black laptop stands is getting 20,000 monthly searches, but blue laptop stands only has 1,000 monthly searches, go with the black laptop stand. The data is telling you that's what people want and are looking for more than the blue version. Okay, so now let me show you a second way to increase that perceived value and create an improved product offer. So let's say that you were looking at this product here, which is a baby hairbrush. And you notice that pretty much all the sellers had pretty low review ratings. So all of the review ratings were under 4.5, let's say. If that's the case, then what you can do is you can actually do something called review hunting or look at review insights and try and work out what is the issue with these products. Because if all of your competitors have low review ratings, then there's fundamentally a problem with the product, and that creates a gap in the market, because you can find that problem, fix it, create a product that's getting great reviews. Because your product's going to be getting better reviews than your competitors, the perceived value of your product is going to be higher. If you charge the same price as them, then overall you're going to be more desirable. Again, as I said again and again, you're going to then win that sale. So what we can do is with these kind of products that have these low reviews, and that's the gap in the market, we can actually come over and open the Helium 10 Chrome extension, day in, day out. I'm using the X-ray tool, but this time what we're going to do is we're going to be using a tool called Review Insights. So we're going to click into that tool. So what the tool will do is it will basically load all of the reviews for this product, and then it will basically collate bits of information. So if you click on this keywords tab here, what you can see is it shows you the repeated things that customers are saying, and also the associated star rating with those reviews that is collated. So what we can see here is that many sellers, many buyers are saying very small. There's 5 different reviews that have said that it's very small, and the average review rating across those reviews is 2.6. So we can clearly see that the reason why this product is getting so many bad reviews partly is because it's very small. So you can click in and try and work out exactly what people are saying about this, saying maybe they want a bigger one, think it's more for play dolls than for humans. So what you can do is say, okay, well look, if you do this, repeat this process essentially for lots of different competitors, and you're finding the same thing, everyone's complaining about the product being very small, then clearly what you need to do is launch a product that is larger than your competitors, really focus on that in your product images to show them that your product is larger and is not gonna have the same problems as them. Therefore, you're gonna get more sales, and also you're gonna get better reviews because you don't have the same problems, which means you're gonna have a higher review rating and get even more sales than them. Okay, so if you follow those 2 processes, use those 2 tools, I'm confident that you're gonna be able to find some great ways to differentiate your product and create a really desirable product offer that's gonna smash and crush your competition. However, this is just step 1 in the process. Once you've developed your product idea, step 2 is you actually need to source that product now. You need to find a manufacturer that can actually make that product for you. Number 1, that can, with all the specs that you want. Number 2, at the quality you need it to be to get good reviews and have happy customers. And third and finally, at a price point that's going to allow you to sell at a price that's competitive while maintaining a really good profit margin. So next, you need to watch this video here where I'm going to show you how to source effectively from China, do all of those things that I just mentioned. So watch this video next, and I'll see you in the next one.